The Google UX Design Certificate is released in 2021, and I took it in 2021. But since then, many things have changed. So if you want to take the course this year, let me tell you the best way to take it so that you can save time and get a job sooner. First of all, focus on course 1 to course 5. Course 1 to course 5 will take you through the entire process of UX design, and you will do a personal project along these courses, and by the end, you will have a personal project to showcase, and you will also learn some basic about Figma. This might take 1 to 3 months, depending on how familiar you are with UI/UX design, and also how fast can you gather participants for those 2 rounds of user testing. If you feel like UI/UX is your thing and you are very serious about transition into UI/UX design, then I also suggest to practice Figma along the way. Because the 2 major reasons I see people are not getting a job after UX certificate is because first, bad UI design skill through Figma, and second, no real-world project. How to practice Figma? Well, you can just simply try to take screenshots of apps and then try to copy those interfaces. Or you can watch my Figma tutorial playlist and then try to practice along with it. I'm also developing a Figma course that will be launched later this year. And use Figma, don't use Adobe XD. Google course will teach you multiple softwares. For example, in course 6, it specifically tells you to use Adobe XD, but my suggestion is to not use Adobe XD. Instead, use Figma. Adobe acquired Figma. They are killing their own Adobe XD baby, and they've made it very clear. And once you have a personal project to showcase from course 1 to course 5, I suggest you to put it in your portfolio. You can practice building your portfolio using the template that Google provided, but that is not the best template to use, and instead, I suggest you to use Notion. Just follow this video of mine to build the first version of your portfolio. It will save you a lot of time comparing to using a website builder, but it will also be a web format comparing to the Google template, which is a slideshow. And as soon as you finish course 5, if you feel like you are very confident about your UX skill already, because you have graphic design background or UI design background, then I suggest to focus on finding a client, a real-world project, instead of taking course 6 and course 7. The certificate itself doesn't matter, it's not job guaranteed. Just by showing that you have a certificate doesn't mean anything, so don't take the course for the certificate, take the course for the skills. However, if you feel like, well, this is your first time taking any courses related to UI or UX, then I suggest you to do another personal project following course 6. That will be a responsive website, but again, use Figma. And as soon as you feel like, oh, I feel a bit more confident about my skills right now, you shall spend all your time focusing on finding a real-world project or an actual client. It is fine if it's unpaid, to be honest, because even doing an unpaid work for 2 months will save you much more time compared to just keep finding a paid client. That will take you maybe years. And how to find a real-world client when you only have personal project? You might not like the answer, but the answer is networking. I've said it so many times. If you don't know how to network, instead of asking me, just read this book called Never Eat Alone by Kat Ferrazzi. Learning how to network is probably the most life-changing experience I've ever had. And I also want to challenge you to think that networking is a skill that you can learn. Networking is not dependent on the personality of yourself. And when you're doing the client project, keep in mind that there is no one process for UX design. The Google certificate will teach you only one process of UX design, and it's a very optimized process. And by optimized, I mean ideal. Look, if every company, every product can follow the Google process, then I think 50% of the product will end up being much better than what it is today. But the unfortunate truth is that the Google process is too ideal because it has many rounds of user testing. However, most companies and most projects don't have enough resources to provide you that many rounds of user testing ability. Also, most companies overlook the importance of user testing. So your job when you're doing the client project is to convince them to connect you with 5 potential users out there so that you can have one-on-one conversation or user testing sessions. But if your client declined on your request, it is your job to figure out secondary research methods to make design decisions. and then you'll realize that, wow, you have to work within a lot of constraints and then collaborate with a lot of people. When you are doing the client project, make sure to also connect with engineering and product before you start designing anything. The design in an actual client project is a collaborative process. It is not that you are in charge of the entire design. Your client probably also have a solution in mind. So throughout this process, you will learn how to navigate between different stakeholders, how to set up meetings, or even use like Figma sessions. And this is why client project or real-world projects is often a must to get a full-time job in a very nice tech company. 2 to 3 months into this client project, regardless whether this client project actually got built or not, and regardless this client project is actually finished or not. Most projects don't really have a finish line, by the way. Put that into your portfolio. And this time, instead of using Notion, build it through a web builder like Squarespace or Webflow. The link is also in the description. You might spend a lot of time just to get around with these web building tools, but these web building tools will grant you a personal domain name in an actual website that looks more professional. And of course, also polish up your resume. I have tutorials here, and of course, use smaller platforms like Indeed to look for the jobs instead of using LinkedIn. Use LinkedIn mainly for personal branding, but don't use LinkedIn as the primary source of job search because everyone is using LinkedIn and the jobs on LinkedIn are often advertised and has huge competition. I also want to tell you that transitioning to UX is more like a marathon than like a sprint. So here are some stats. By the time I'm recording this video, 50,000 people gave a rating on the first Google course, but only 2,000 people gave a rating on the 7th course. Just by this simple stats, you can see how little people actually go through the entire course and finish all 7 courses. I'm not telling you that you have to finish all 7 courses to get a job, but I'm telling you that a lot of people quit along the way because Google Certificate is not a program that has actual person behind it pushing you to submit your assignment and giving you feedback. If you need those, you probably need to go to a bootcamp. I have discount for other bootcamps out there if that's what you need. If you want to keep taking the Google Certificate, plan ahead, find an accountability partner, find a friend who's also taking the course. Definitely do some time management. I want to highlight this again. I've talked to many of you. The major 2 reasons that people don't get a job after taking Google Certificate is first, you don't have a real-world project, and second, the UI in your portfolio is too bad. And for this reason, I'm developing a Figma course tailored to aspiring UI/UX designers, and I would love to have some of your feedback to learn about your need. So check out the first link in the description. And for those of you to fill out this questionnaire, I will also make sure to provide you a discount whenever my course is launched. You might also get a free mentoring session. I hope this video helped you. If you like this video, you'll probably also like this video of mine. Follow me for more UX design, product design, UI design related content. I am Aliena and I will see you in this video. Cheers!